Welcome back. This is part two of my poppy field oil painting. And yesterday I worked on the sky and I put a piece of tape across just so I had a nice even horizon. And this painting is done all with a palette knife. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the field in the front. The field is it's all grass with red poppies on top. So what I'm going to do is paint in the field first and then sort of let that dry overnight and then try to paint in the poppies, hopefully tomorrow if it's dry enough. What I did was I took four colors. I took Van Dyke Brown, Cad Yellow, Cobalt Blue, and Sap Green. And I want to make a dark green and a light green to paint into this poppy field. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating a light green color. I'm just going to use the Cad Yellow and some of the Cobalt Blue. Mix that together and try to establish a lighter green color. Put a little bit of sap green into it. Add more yellow to lighten it. So that will be my lighter green. And then over here I'm going to take the Van Dyke Brown, sap green, blue, and that'll be a darker green color. So I have a light green and a dark green mixed on the palette knife. So what I'm going to do is just sort of come in here and sort of start to establish this field, sort of go across. I'm probably going to have to mix more paint. I have to fill a large area in. And sort of go across, and let me give me a second here, let me mix a little bit more paint. I'm sort of establishing the dark area. I'm using a little bit of a sideways stroke. Sideward stroke. Use more of the brown. And you could sort of just lay the paint on thick so it gives the paint texture when it dries. And already I can tell I'm sort of running out of paint, so I'm going to grab a little more sap green and brown in my palette knife on the palette. Sap green takes a lot of paint when you paint with palette knives because you're laying the paint on real thick. So I have those two colors out, more paint, blue in there, sort of vary a little. I don't want any straight blue, so I'm mixing that in. And so I'm going across. It's kind of fun just to lay all this paint on here without having to worry about it too much. No details. Just be real loose with it. Up at the horizon, I'm going to sort of establish that line a little straight there. There's no such thing as a little straight. Straight. So I go up to that line in the horizon. And more sap green. As long as it's dark, it doesn't have to be anything exact here. Fill that all in up to the horizon line. There's going to be some trees and things on the horizon, so I don't need to make that line exactly straight. One thing I want to do is put this down so this doesn't move around on me too much. Top of my easel. Mix up some more color. I just want to get that line established. Reference off to the side I'm looking at. Takes a couple minutes to get that line nice and straight. Just sort of following the line that's on there. lot of paint in there. I can sort of use the paint that's on there and sort of come up here and use that line, define that line. That's what I'm trying to come up with. Just straight across. Sometimes paint gets on the other side of the knife, you have to clean it off. Alright, so I have a pretty straight line there. It's impressionist, doesn't have to be exactly straight. Basically straight. I just don't want to see a little white line in between, I just don't want to have that there. So that's pretty much established. Now if you come back in here, lay in paint on the bottom. Try to keep my arm this way so I don't get in the way. Just make these little sideways strokes. Need more green. This painting is a lot of green. Straight sap green is okay for the dark. Maybe a little bit of brown in there just to sort of extend the paint a little bit. Yellow so it's not completely dark. Just trying to get that feel. You could use a brush, but I'm trying to gain texture on the canvas. This helps. Trying to make it look like a palette knife painting. You can make it look like a brush painting with a palette knife just by flattening everything out and blending everything out. So this is going to be our field. This filled in here. Filled in down to the bottom. Alright. So that's our dark underpaint there. Now, I mixed in a lighter color before, so I want to get into that. Just wipe the knife off here. I want to sort of highlight the area. So it looks like there's grass sort of protruding outward. I'm going to go into the light color and sort of dab it in. You can sort of put it on and pull it a little bit too. So this color is just a little bit lighter than what's on there. I don't want the, see how I made it a little bit too thick there? I don't want it too thick. I'm sort of putting it on and sort of either just put it on and just let it look what it's going to look like, or you can just sort of pull it a little bit. Just want to make it look like, oops, drop that. Just want to make it look like grass is on here. Going into some yellow. And I'm going to need some more yellow. Grab some more yellow out of the tube. This painting needs a lot of yellow, a lot of green. So I'm just going into the yellow, taking the yellow I just took out of the tube and just mixing with the paint that's already on my palette. Cut off a little roll of paint, sort of sort of go in there and little indications of grass in there. Trying to keep my arm out of the way, but I have to get this way sometimes. Like that. overwork it. Here's a little lighter than others. To get that straight line, you have to cut it across like that. It starts to look like grass by putting those layers of paint on there. You can pull it up if you want to. See, try to create some different effects with it. You can figure out which areas you want darker, which areas you want lighter. You can change the patterns of it if you want to. Take the knife and just go like that, make it look like grass. Just whatever you want, whatever makes you feel good with it painting. Arm out of the way. Just trying to get it laid in. Now I'll go back and figure out what areas I want dark and which areas I want lighter. Okay, it's starting to look like a field of grass. I keep losing my reference photo here because my computer goes off. Here, I gotta fix that. Well, up in here, I want to make the shapes of the grass just a little smaller. So I'll put them a little bit closer together. A little bit closer together and sort of see how I'm working them a little bit closer there, because I want it to look like it's deep. By making the grass in the background smaller, that helps that effect. Closer together and smaller. Good. Then back in the background, I'm not even gonna try to make that shape. I'm just gonna sort of lay in some yellow, sort of highlight some of the background. If it's too far away, you're not gonna see blades of grass in the distance. So I'm laying some yellow paint in there. Just pull it together a little. So just sort of highlighting it a little bit. It's not all dark green. Open area there in the middle, get rid of that. Step back a couple of feet here, see what it looks like from a distance. Smoother transition here. lay the paint on and work it in. I think it looks really good. I don't think I really want to touch it too much. Sometimes it just comes out good the first time you do it, and right now I think it looks good, so I don't want to touch that. What I want to do is put a couple of trees way off in the distance. Just grab a little bit of, let me see, a little bit of blue and brown maybe. Just so there's some trees back there. Brown and blue. Mix those colors together. So it's a little bit of a silhouette against the sky. That's so I make it kind of dark. See how I have the knife loaded, and let's see now. I want to have a little bit of a tree back here. Just little trees in the horizon. I'm sort of tapping with the very tip of the knife right here. And the very end of the knife. Let's get here with a couple trees way, way, way in the background. Some areas there's no trees. And over here, right up into where the sun is. Let's put that in there. And there's a little bit of a row of trees on the other side. I don't want it to get too big because it's not going to look far away. It's going to ruin the distance illusion if I do that. And maybe there's no trees there, and then over here some trees. Just sort of frame the painting a little bit better. Trace some tape that way. Alright. A couple over here. Alright, so let's look at my reference again. See how much time I have here. Alright, so I think that came out pretty good. Let me just clean the brush. I mean the knife. I keep calling it a brush. So I'm so used to working with brushes. Maybe in the field, just a couple places, just a little bit of a darker feel in there. Using just straight brown. You know, it's just a hint more depth here and there. Laying in a little bit of dark. You could use black if you wanted to do this too. That just makes it look a little bit more strong. Stands out a little bit more. Makes the light stand out a little bit better. Okay, so I think I'm done for today. you guys enjoyed that. Next time will be to put in these poppies, because you have a field of poppies, hundreds of poppies on here. Then when this area right up here dries a little bit more, where the sun is, I'm going to put a little bit more white paint on there just to make it stand out a little bit more. And that'll be my painting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this painting, and see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.